Welcome back to Panda Audiobooks. You are listening to Pursuit of the Truth by a Gen, Episode 6, covering chapters 16, 17, and 18. Now deep within the complex world outside the tribes, Su Ming must contend with powerful organizations and their intricate, often deadly, rules. This segment features continued confrontations, the unveiling of larger political and cultivation rivalries, and the intense effort required for Su Ming to solidify his standing in this new environment. The risks are enormous, but the potential rewards and the pieces of the truth are within reach. Prepare for high-stakes maneuvers and explosive cultivation battles. Chapter 16, Elder. Brother. Brother, can you hear me? In his dreams, he heard that familiar, sad, and lonely voice once more as it echoed in his head. The voice remained in his head for a long time. His unconscious body trembled lightly as if he was struggling. Brother, I'm waiting for you. As the calls grew stronger, Su Ming was jolted awake from his sleep. His gaze was unfocused as he stared at the wall before him and let his mind wander. His thoughts were interrupted by excited screeches. He turned his head and saw Xiao Hong pouncing on him happily. Then it started climbing all over his body. Xiao Hong woke up much earlier. It was only in a state of unconsciousness before and was not heavily injured. Once it woke up, it kept its gaze focused on Su Ming, waiting anxiously for him to wake up. When Su Ming woke up, it was out of its mind with joy. Su Ming smiled as he looked at the little monkey, but his smile was laced with uncertainty. It was the second time that he had the dream. He took a deep breath. Su Ming shook his head, forcing himself not to think about the strange dream anymore. He chose instead to look at the perfectly normal-looking black debris hanging off his neck. He touched the debris, his eyes gradually becoming clear of doubt. He already had first-hand experience of the changes the black debris brought upon him. The creation of the scattering dust had increased his training speed by leaps and bounds. The red pill was also created by accident, allowing Su Ming to obtain complete control and gain the upper hand in a battle between life and death. I'll still need to create more pills. I saw a door at that strange place, but there were 15 small holes on the door. I did not have enough pills last time, that's why I was hesitating. But now, I really want to know just what will happen to the door once I put in 15 scattering dusts. Su Ming muttered lowly under his breath. I'll need to make more scattering blood. These pills will be my trump card. Also, I'll need to go back to the tribe. I haven't gone back for quite some time. The elder has been stuck at the 9th level for many years as well. Perhaps the scattering dust can help. Su Ming stood up and moved his limbs. Most of the fatigue in his body had gone by then. He concentrated on making the pills again and continued with the refinement of the blood in his veins. There were some parts of his body that felt a bit sluggish as blood tried to circulate through them. It was not as smooth as before, and Su Ming believed that it was a wound left behind when he tried to break through the first level of the blood solidification realm. He would not be able to heal the wound within a short period of time. Within the same month, Su Ming ventured out of the cave a few times. He also had the little monkey help him collect herbs. Su Ming even went out specially to pick 2 of the red herbs required for scattering blood. He wanted to pick more, but sensing danger, he decided not to be greedy. Using the vast amounts of herbs he collected, Su Ming began refining his qi and his blood while also using the herbs to create the medicinal pills he wanted the past month. The muffled sounds of pills being created echoed throughout the cave. It was a month later and the sky was still dark with only faint traces of light. Su Ming gave the little monkey a few instructions and left the mountain alone. Then, he disappeared into the forest. Su Ming, who had arrived at the 2nd level of the blood solidification realm, traveled quickly within the forest. He ran across the icy plains like a flash of light. Before noon, he had already left the forest and was outside the dark mountain tribe settlement. As he looked at the settlement, a smile appeared across his face. I haven't been back for quite some time. Su Ming walked towards it. Everything was normal. Many children were playing around and some of the tribe members were sparring against each other. Su Ming's return attracted some of the tribe members' attention. He had been gone for a long time, after all. They came out and greeted him with smiles on their faces. Su Ming, you're finally back. Where did you go? Su Ming stroked a child's head, and just as he was about to leave to the elder's house, an excited voice rang out from behind him. He turned around and looked. The person who spoke was a big and well-built man, but he had a slight baby face. It was a clear sign that he was still young. That person was Lei Chen. What? Su Ming glanced at Lei Chen and could feel that the qi in his body had grown much stronger. The aura he felt from Lei Chen was actually quite similar to the Berserker he killed using scattering blood. You almost broke through the 4th level of the blood solidification realm. Su Ming asked, surprised. Lei Chen grinned widely and walked up to Su Ming's side to speak softly to him. I have a feeling I'll reach the next level soon. The elder said the Berserker blood within my body is quite pure. If this continues, someday I will be able to reach the elder's level. As Lei Chen spoke, his eyes shone with excitement. Soon after, he began to look at Su Ming carefully and he was stunned. Then, he widened his eyes in disbelief. Just as he was about to speak. Come to my place tonight. We'll talk later. Let me go see the elder first. Su Ming knew what Lei Chen was about to say. He gave him a faint smile and went to the elder's house. As he watched Su Ming's back, Lei Chen was speechless. He pulled at his hair in confusion and mumbled a few words, trying to piece things together. However, in the end, he still could not understand it. He still remembered to go to Su Ming's place later that night though. As he approached the elder's house, Su Ming slowed down. There were slight signs of anxiety and fear in his eyes. Su Ming respected the elder for taking care of him since he was young. To him, the elder was just like his grandfather, and their relationship could not be described with words. He did not want to lie to the elder, but there were some things that he could not disclose, like the piece of debris on his neck. Su Ming was not a child anymore. He could tell if the public knew about the piece of debris, it could very well mean the doom of the entire tribe, not just himself. He could not speak of it. Su Ming took a deep breath and stood in front of the elder's house. He did not enter immediately. He could hear the faint traces of voices coming from the inside, like people were in a meeting. He waited patiently until the door of the elder's house opened and out came 3 men. These 3 men were all built like small hills. When they appeared, Su Ming felt a great pressure. Their presence even caused the qi in his body to stir. He thought that he was about to be swept away by a typhoon. Su Ming inhaled sharply and took a few steps back instinctively. The 3 men were the leaders of the Dark Mountain tribe. Before Su Ming awakened, he had not been as badly affected. He could only vaguely feel that they were some of the best berserkers besides the elder. Now that Su Ming was a practitioner at the 2nd level of the blood solidification realm, the oppressive feeling was much stronger than before when he met the tribe leaders. The qi within the Dark Mountain tribe's leader was so great, he felt like it could shake heaven and earth. Combined with the vague berserker mark on his face, it only served to make him even more terrifying. Su Ming also knew the 2 men beside the tribe leader. The man on his left was also a man in his 40s. There was a mark shaped like a scorpion on his face. The level of qi within him was only slightly weaker than the tribe leader. His arms were also very long and there was a big bow slung across his back. For some unknown reason, when Su Ming looked at the bow, he felt like he could hear the agonizing cries of its numerous victims. It caused him to feel a little wary of the man. That man was the head of the guards of the Dark Mountain tribe. The head of the guards was not a name, but a title given by its predecessor to the successor. There could only be 1 head of the guards in each tribe, and it was a title given only to the strongest archers in the tribe. The last person standing to the tribe leader's right was a man in his 30s. His facial expressions were rather stiff. He was not a man who smiled and talked often. His eyes were usually narrowed into a slit and it was difficult to see the full view of his eyes. He was the chief of the hunters in Dark Mountain tribe and was responsible for all the hunts outside the tribe settlement. His name was Xianxia. These 3 people were considered to be the strongest in Dark Mountain tribe besides the elder. Su Ming took a deep breath and stepped aside as he bowed before them. The tribe leader was frowning. It was apparent that the meeting with the elder did not end on good terms. When he walked out of the house, he did not even look at Su Ming. He just walked past him. As for the head of the guards, he smiled at Su Ming when he saw him. Then, He nodded as a sign of acknowledgement to his presence before leaving with the tribe leader. Shan Hen, the chief of the hunters, also treated Su Ming as if he was invisible. He ignored him as he walked by. After the three men left, there was a hint of dubiousness in Su Ming's eyes. He felt uncertain about the qi in his body. If Lei Chen could sense it, why did the three strongest berserkers in the tribe not feel anything? I already concealed your qi. Come in, why are you still standing outside? Just as Su Ming was still being troubled, the elder's stern voice sounded from within the house. Su Ming lowered his head and walked into the house. You finally decided to come back. The elder still wore a sackcloth and had his hair tied in many small braids. His features still looked as old and weary as ever, but his eyes were vibrant with life. His tone of voice was grave and serious, but the joy in his eyes could not be concealed. Su Ming mumbled a few words. He still hung his head low, not really having the courage to speak. You grew a pair of balls, is that it? How could you leave the tribe and not return for so many months? Have you forgotten about me? HMPH, lift up your head. Let me take a look at you. There were hints of dissatisfaction in the elder's voice. Su Ming's expression was anxious as he lifted his head and looked at the elder. Elder. Before he could finish, the elder, who was sitting with his legs crossed, suddenly grabbed Su Ming sternly with his right hand. Su Ming stumbled forward a few steps as the elder pressed his right hand on his chest. A soft and gentle power weaved itself into Su Ming's body. Once it melded together with his blood, it immediately healed the wounds that Su Ming did not even realize he received. It also dissolved the dangers of Su Ming risking his health when he forcefully reached the second level of the blood solidification realm and killed without stabilizing the qi in his body. When the elder retrieved his right hand from Su Ming's chest, Su Ming trembled. He immediately took a spatula and opened up a gash on his arm. Instantly, black blood flowed out from the gash, and there was even a stench in the air which came from the blood. You haven't even stabilized the qi in your body and you already ventured out to kill someone? You've really grown a pair, haven't you? As the elder observed Su Ming's reaction, the praise in his eyes grew stronger. Nonetheless, he still spoke harshly. Even so, he took out a dark green bottle and handed it to Su Ming. When all the black blood flowed out from the gash, Su Ming's body felt refreshed. Once he took the bottle and opened it, he touched the liquid in the bottle with his finger and spread it over his wound. Chapter 17. Berserker Mark. Elder, I didn't want to do it. It's just that they went overboard. They snatched Xiao Hong away, Su Ming mumbled. They? The elder was stunned. One of them was a berserker at the second level of the blood solidification realm, and the other was a berserker at the third level. Su Ming placed the cork back on the bottle, then put the bottle on the table beside him. Black Mountain Tribe? How did you manage to escape? The elder narrowed his eyes. A cold and steely look settled in his eyes. I didn't escape. They died. Su Ming lifted his head and looked at the elder. The elder was stunned but was also visibly moved. After falling silent momentarily, he decided not to ask Su Ming about the details. Su Ming was like his own child. He took care of him as he grew up and he knew of his character. You met them at Black Flame Mountain, right? The information you gave us last time was really useful. You should have been rewarded for that, but because you hid the fact that you've become a berserker, that reward is cancelled. Now that you're a berserker, stay. I will tell you about some of my experiences training in the ways of the berserker. I'll also card through the blood veins in your body. The elder looked at Su Ming and smiled. Elder. Su Ming scratched his head sheepishly. After a moment's hesitation, he opened his mouth and spoke softly. I'm sorry. Aren't you going to ask me how I became a berserker? Why should I? Everyone has their own secrets. I just need to know that my Su Ming has finally become a berserker. The elder laughed happily. Su Ming's eyes were teary. He looked at the elder and nodded. He would never forget the elder's kindness towards him, or the dark dragon's saliva that had been flowing in his veins, or all that had happened. All of these things were imprinted on his mind and soul. Elder, I have some pills. Here. Su Ming looked at the elder and spoke softly. Pills. The elder asked in bewilderment, then shook his head and laughed. You're talking about herbs, right? I know that you must have gotten yourself some rare herbs, but I'm the elder of Dark Mountain Tribe. Unless they're really very rarely seen, I've seen every. What? Before the elder finished speaking, Su Ming produced 2 small bottles and placed them before the elder. The 2 bottles were filled with green pills and they were letting out a nice therapeutic scent. Both bottles had about a dozen pills within them. The elder's face turned solemn. He took one of the bottle containing the pills and inspected them. Once he was certain that it was nothing like he had ever seen, he took a sniff and his countenance immediately changed. What a strange medicine! I just took a sniff and I can already feel my blood circulating faster. The elder mumbled and scrutinized the pills further. After a moment, he closed his eyes and began to think. When he finally opened his eyes, he looked at Su Ming. These are called pills. Su Ming nodded his head and pointed towards the bottle containing the pills. He started introducing the effects and the methods of using the pills to the elder. The elder drew a sharp breath and his demeanor changed completely once he listened halfway. There were no signs of hesitation. The elder immediately waved his right hand and right before Su Ming, an illusion of the statue of the god of the Berserkers appeared. The shape of the statue was that of the half-human, half-beast statue of the god of the Berserkers from Dark Mountain Tribe. The moment the statue appeared, a gentle energy spread around the room. Continue. Su Ming looked at the elder's solemn face and felt his heart pounding against his chest. Then he continued to slowly tell the elder all the effects of the scattering dust. The elder was already standing. Once he finished listening to Su Ming, he took out one of the scattering dusts and observed it carefully. Then he swallowed it in one bite. He believed in Su Ming. There was practically no hesitation in his movements. He then took out a small purple bottle and drank down what little that remained in the bottle. He sat down with his legs crossed once again. Very soon, his body let out a bright and bloody red glow. The light was glaringly bright and it covered the entire room. Su Ming took a few steps back. His eyes were filled with admiration. He could see the many blood veins on the elder's body. He could not tell just how many there were, but the presence of a qi much stronger than the tribe leaders filled the entire room. Su Ming drew a sharp breath. He watched the god of Berserker's glowing statue floating midair and knew that if it were not for the illusion of the statue, the light released by the elder would have covered the entire tribe. It could possibly have been seen even from afar. The light disappeared just as quickly as it came. As the elder opened his eyes, the red light that enveloped his entire body also dissipated. His eyes were filled with a layer of excitement. He looked at the scattering dust and took a deep breath. Su Ming, you must remember one thing. The elder lifted his head and looked at Su Ming. Su Ming immediately stood to attention. From today onwards, do not tell anyone about the pills. Even if I asked you again, you mustn't speak of it. From today onwards, I will not ask you anything about this. Even within the tribe, you must remember not to talk about this to anyone. Not even to Lei Chen. The elder spoke sternly as he looked deeply into Su Ming's eyes. Su Ming hesitated for a moment. The elder sighed. He understood Su Ming. He knew that Su Ming was an honest man. That was why he chose to speak sternly again. Su Ming, listen to me. You mustn't tell anyone. Su Ming nodded silently as his gaze was filled with resolution. The tribe is not safe. The elder muttered, but his words surprised Su Ming momentarily. It dawned on him especially when he remembered how the elder had hidden his qi from the 3 leaders of the tribe. There is a traitor in our tribe. Right now, only the tribe leader and I know about this. No one else knows about it. The traitor has hidden himself too well. We don't know who it is. With the information you brought to us, perhaps my old arch-nemesis from the Black Mountain tribe has really found a way to reach the next level. I've been feeling that the weather around the area has been a bit odd lately. It's as though a major disaster is about to approach. Su Ming, these pills of yours are good, so I'll be keeping them. Don't give me more of these. If I can really break through to the next level, these will be enough. But if I can't, even if you give me more, it'll still be useless. I'm not lacking in herbs, It's just that I'm stuck and I just need a chance to break through. The elder sighed. He spoke to Su Ming a little more about his experiences training in the ways of the Berserker. Then he took out a strange object made of twigs. The elder's gaze was filled with nostalgia when he looked at the item. After some time, he gave the item to Su Ming solemnly. I got this when I was out adventuring during my younger days. This thing is called a bamboo slip. You will only see these in big tribes. There are a lot of uses of herbs recorded in this bamboo slip. Take it. Su Ming took the bamboo slip and was marveled by it. He put it away in his bosom and was just about to go back to his own house when the elder looked at Su Ming solemnly. Su Ming, I'm happy that you became a berserker, but you must understand that once you become a berserker, you are no longer the same as the normal members of the tribe. The road to become a practitioner of the ways of the berserker is extremely difficult. The slightest mistake can bring about death. You must have felt it when you were at Black Flame Mountain. But we are members of the berserker tribe. We cannot fear death, much less give up because the road ahead is too hard to walk. I know what your dreams are. You want to leave this place and travel to see the world. I fully support you. Su Ming listened quietly and nodded. You are a good child. I've watched over you for many years and I know that. But my training is insufficient and I can't help you too much. I thought it would be fine if our Su Ming couldn't become a berserker. However, if he did manage to become a practitioner of the berserker arts, then I will do everything that I can to make your journey as easy as possible. A smile gradually appeared on the elder's serious face and he waved at Su Ming to approach him. Come, sit down before me and circulate the blood in your veins as you usually do when you train. Su Ming looked at the old man whose hair was speckled with white and whose face was covered with wrinkles. The elder was smiling kindly at him. He knew that there were no blood ties between him and the elder, but the affection they felt towards each other could overcome all blood ties. Elder. Su Ming mumbled. Come here already. The elder laughed heartily. Su Ming sat down before the elder obediently and took a deep breath. Then he slowly began to move the qi around his body. Soon, the 6 blood veins manifested. As the 6 blood veins began to give out a red glow, the vague shadow of a 7th blood vein appeared and started to manifest slowly. Su Ming had been unable to manifest the 7th blood vein for the past month. He had not even been able to summon an illusion of it. This was largely connected to the internal injuries he had obtained. Since the elder had healed his internal injuries, the 7th blood vein appeared naturally when he activated the qi in his body. You've already inherited the knowledge from the statue of the god of the berserkers. You know that the berserkers will need to manifest 11 blood veins if they want to reach the 3rd level. As for the 4th level, they will need 25 blood veins. You will need 53 blood veins for the 5th, and there will only be more for the rest of the levels. As for the 11th level of the blood solidification realm, you should need 781 blood veins. But the manifestation of blood veins required may not be the same for some people. Most of the berserkers will need the same number of blood veins to reach the next level, but there are some people who are capable of increasing the number of blood veins in their body. The more blood veins you have, the more likely it is for you to reach the transcendence realm. From what I've heard, all the berserkers who have managed to reach the transcendence realm have always had more than 900 blood veins during the blood solidification realm. Take for example the elder of the Wind Stream tribe. I've known him for many years and I know that he had 917 blood veins many years ago. I've heard before that in middle-sized tribes and in some big tribes, there are those in the blood solidification realm who have manifested more than 930 blood veins. This is the blood solidification realm of the Berserker tribe. There have been some people in the history of the Berserker tribe who have manifested 999 blood veins during the blood solidification realm. These people have all become very famous and powerful people. There are even rumors that if you manifest 1000 blood veins, you will obtain completion in the blood solidification realm. But that sort of completion could only be seen during our ancestors' time more than thousands of years ago. It's extremely rare nowadays. I can say that no one has reached completion in the blood solidification realm. As for the details, I don't know about it because I don't have enough information. The elder's voice seemed to hold a strange sort of power that echoed in Su Ming's head as he moved the qi in his body. After blood solidification is the transcendence realm. Transcendence actually means to gather all the manifested blood veins and refine them into the purest form of Berserker blood. Then you draw your own personal solidified Berserker mark on your body. The Berserker mark has to come from your own heart and desire. I'm excited to see what Berserker mark you would draw should you reach the Transcendence realm someday. Chapter 18. The Art from the Berserker Ancestors. Su Ming. These are the things that you did not inherit from the statue of the god of Berserkers, but they are things that all Berserkers must know and remember. I might not be able to reach the Transcendence realm in my life. The elder in Windstream tribe was not as powerful as I was before he was 20. When he was 34, he was only barely able to keep up with me in a battle. Back then, there wasn't anyone who didn't know who I was in all the tribes around the area. The elder spoke slowly and his face flushed. There was even a hint of pride in his eyes. However, the radiance from his pride was dimmed by something, like it was sealed in a box and covered by a layer of dust. At that time, I had already arrived at the 9th level of the blood solidification realm. The elder sighed as he mumbled bitterly. He spoke as reminisced about the past. The sadness in his eyes grew. Su Ming, you must remember. There will always be people who are stronger and more powerful than you. You must never be arrogant. The elder shook his head as if he did not want to talk about his past any longer. I've ventured out of the tribe 3 times in my life and I've experienced a lot of things. I may have lost just as much, but I learned a Berserker art. This isn't a Berserker art that the Windstream tribe will ever learn. It is also difficult to find this in slightly bigger or medium-sized tribes. This is an art left behind by our Berserker ancestors that can only be learned in big tribes. This is the true art of Berserker's awakening. You can only use it once in your life, and it is an art used to bless a chosen descendant. The elder narrowed his eyes in concentration and lifted his right hand. Almost immediately, his entire palm was filled with blood and he pressed his palm slowly on Su Ming's forehead. Su Ming, this is the first and only time I will cast the awakening art and I will cast it on you. This is my blessing for you. I hope you will one day fulfill my dreams and reach the Transcendence realm for Dark Mountain Tribe again. Activate the Qi in your body and absorb the Berserker blood I've trained for the past 80 years. The elder's entire body glowed a bloody red. It was especially prominent in his right hand, as if blood was about to fall. A huge number of blood veins also manifested on his body. Just by looking at it, there were approximately 700 blood veins. This was the elder's true power, a manifestation of more than 700 blood veins. Due to this, he was able to fight a Berserker at the 10th level despite being only at the 9th level of the blood solidification realm. Su Ming trembled. As he circulated the Qi around his body, a gigantic wave of heat that seemed to be endless flowed from his forehead into his entire body. It caused the flow of Qi in his body to increase drastically. A huge amount of black substance flowed out of Su Ming's pores and he felt his body slowly becoming free of blockage. With each breath he took, his entire body felt like it simultaneously took in a huge amount of the air around him. Cracking sounds rang through the air. Su Ming's body no longer shivered, but his face was flushed red as though he had just eaten a very good supplement. Even the blood veins in his body began to change. The 7th blood vein that was only an illusion earlier had already manifested. Once it did, the 8th blood vein followed suit and manifested as well. The 9th blood vein also appeared as an illusion. The speed of the Qi flow in Su Ming's body had increased to a terrifying speed. With each complete circulation, it was as if all the blood in his body had clotted. He even had the false impression that his blood had turned into a sticky substance. This is the true meaning of the blood solidification realm. You must solidify and refine your own blood and transform them into Berserker blood. When he was training in the past, he would always feel that he had insufficient blood not long into his training. At that moment, however, the feeling was gone as endless heat traveled into his body from his forehead. He even had the impression that the thought of not having enough blood was just an illusion. The elder, who was enveloped by a bloody glow, looked like he had turned into a giant red ball of light. Su Ming himself was also a bloody red ball of light, but compared to the elder, he was just like a firefly under the moonlight. Yet the firefly was absorbing the light from the moon and growing stronger quickly. This This is just what the elder told me before. This is the true Berserker's awakening in the Berserker tribe. This is the Berserker art that only big tribes possess, the ancient Berserker art. The ninth blood vein manifested in an impressive manner. The feeling of power enveloped Su Ming's entire body. The black substance had already been completely dispelled from his body, and it was replaced by an indescribable fragrance. Su Ming sunk into a warm and comfortable feeling. The elder kept his attention on Su Ming's body. He knew that the purpose of the ancient Berserker art, the true Berserker's awakening, was not to increase the chosen descendant's training but to eliminate all the undesirable substances within the body. It was to create a body suitable for training in the ways of the Berserker for the chosen descendant. It could make the road to train in the ways of the Berserker much easier for the chosen descendant. It was not just a simple banishment of undesirable substances, but he had to use his Berserker blood as a guide to expel the undesirable substances in a manner that he did not understand. It was technique that he could use only once in his life. If he tried to do it a second time, his body would burst and his soul would shatter. As the fragrance from Su Ming's body grew stronger, the elder smiled. Nevertheless, he did not stop. He took a deep breath and raised his left hand, pressing it over his right hand. Soon, an even stronger and greater wave of warmth entered Su Ming's body. Su Ming trembled. There was no longer any black substance coming out of his body, but as the warmth entered his body, a beating sound reverberated throughout his body. Then, more black substance was secreted from his body right before his eyes. At the same time, the 10th blood vein in Su Ming's body quickly manifested to its physical state. The process only lasted for a moment. Even the 11th blood vein was already showing itself faintly on his body. Once the 11th blood vein manifested itself, Su Ming would become a Berserker at the 3rd level of the blood solidification realm. However, the manifestation of the 11th blood vein was proving itself to be extremely difficult. Even after Su Ming's body stopped excreting any black substance and released a nice fragrance, the 11th blood vein was still in an illusionary state. Su Ming, I cannot help you by forcefully increasing the state of your training. This will not bring any good to you. But if you're diligent, you'll reach the 3rd level naturally before long. The elder's voice echoed in Su Ming's ears. Su Ming took a deep breath and opened his eyes slowly. The moment he opened his eyes, the world looked slightly different. His sight became much clearer. The details he had never noticed before were now as clear as day. His world had become different. Both of his eyes were as clear as water, yet, if anyone took a closer look, they would see that his eyes were like the abyss. People who looked into them would be unable to look away. As he looked at the elder, he saw that the elder's face had aged once again. There were even signs of fatigue in his features. Despite that, there were clear signs of great kindness and affection as the elder gazed upon him. Su Ming stared at the elder in a dumbfounded state. In his silence, he knelt down and bowed towards the elder. Enough. You're a grown man now. You're no longer a lasso. I'm a little tired. Go back. Let me rest. Elder. Su Ming bit his lip and gazed deeply at the elder, carving the scene before him into his mind. For all of eternity and his entire life, he would never ever forget that there was a person who accompanied him when he was younger and allowed him to experience familial love. He understood that this was a love that he would never be able to repay for his entire life. Come with me to Windstream Tribe next time. We'll be visiting the elder of Windstream Tribe and seeing the Berserkers there. Representatives from Black Mountain Tribe, Dark Dragon Tribe and other smaller tribes will also be going. It will be a good experience for all of you younger generation. Before he left, he heard the elder's voice echoing in his ears. I've already concealed the chi and fragrance from your body. No one will notice unless they are more powerful than I am. Do not tell anyone about the fact that you became a Berserker. We'll make a decision once I find the traitor. Su Ming nodded. When he saw the elder sitting down cross-legged with his eyes closed and immersing himself in his training, he quietly left. He knew that Windstream Tribe was the only medium-sized tribe around the region. It was considered as the leader of the area. Su Ming had heard rumors of the elder of Windstream Tribe being a powerful berserker who had arrived at the Transcendence Realm. Not only did he have a long lifespan, he also had the power to crush heaven and earth. Transcendence Realm. I wonder if I'll be able to arrive at that realm in my lifetime. I wonder if I can even draw my own Berserker mark. Su Ming's eyes lit up with ambition. The Transcendence realm was like a legend to him. It was too far away from him. So this is the Elder's real strength. I didn't expect him to be so strong. I heard that the Elder from Black Mountain Tribe had some sort of secret, or else they wouldn't have been able to last so long. Su Ming shook his head and refused to continue thinking about the matter. When Su Ming returned to his house, which had been left barren for the past few months, he calmed down. The place was clean. There was barely any dust around. Su Ming knew that this could only mean that Qianxia dropped by during the days that he was gone. Qianxia was the only girl within Dark Mountain Tribe whom Su Ming had more contact with. She was the tribe leader's daughter. She would only be married to the future tribe leader so that the tribe would continue to prosper, and there were no disputes about that within the tribe. Su Ming knew this since a long time ago and was not offended or saddened by it. Qianxia was like a little sister to him, and he held no other feelings towards her. He sat down with his legs crossed on the wooden bed. Su Ming touched the piece of debris on his neck as he fell into deep thought. As nighttime arrived, Lei Chen came to Su Ming's house puzzled. When he saw Su Ming, he was dumbfounded. The silly look on his face made Su Ming smile. He took out the herbs he got from the remains of the Berserker from Black Mountain Tribe. Su Ming knew about the Sky Stone, of course. It was one of the rarer herbs. He had only managed to obtain one of them during all the years he went to collect herbs in the mountains. That, too, was only a shoot. It was unlike the one he had in the present, which was fully grown and had 6 leaves. A Sky Stone with 6 leaves. I'll need more of them to make some medication, but I can give you a leaf. You might be able to use it to help with your training. Su Ming plucked one of the leaves from the plant and gave it to Lei Chen. Lei Chen laughed and scratched his head. Then he pat his chest bashfully after he took it from Su Ming's hands. Su Ming, I don't know about all this stuff. But I already told you since I was young, I will become Dark Mountain Tribe's leader in the future. With me around, I'll always protect you. Su Ming laughed heartily, and as he spoke to Lei Chen, he noticed that Lei Chen kept looking at the leaf from the Sky Stone, unable to concentrate. It was obvious that he wanted to eat it and immediately start training. Hence, he pretended to be tired. When Lei Chen noticed, he immediately lit up with excitement. He quickly got up and left. The sky had already darkened and silence gradually fell upon the tribe. Su Ming blocked the door to his house with a chair and sat down with his legs crossed on the bed. He took a deep breath and touched the piece of debris hanging off his neck with his right hand. In his mind, he pictured the strange place he saw that day. I already have an ample supply of scattering dust ready. I wonder if I'll be able to obtain something new this time. Su Ming closed his eyes. He had long since figured out the method to enter the strange place. What he needed to do was gather all the blood to his chest when he was training. Then he would be able to go to the strange place. He had already tried it multiple times during his training. It was finally time for him to do it. Chapters 16 through 18 conclude with a major development, leaving Su Ming positioned for an even greater challenge. He has successfully navigated the initial dangers of the external world, but his unique path continues to draw the attention of immensely powerful ancient figures. Thank you for listening to this thrilling segment of Pursuit of the Truth from Panda Audiobooks. What organization do you think poses the biggest hidden threat to Su Ming? Let us know in the comments. Join us next time for episode 7, covering chapters 19, 20, and 21 as the ultimate conflict approaches. Like, subscribe, and continue the epic saga.